Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Beach FM 106.3, and our special guest now, Jacinda Thorne from the Kapiti Chamber of Commerce. It's been just 4 weeks since we last talked, Jacinda. How the world has changed in that time.
Oh my gosh, I know, right? And you know, this time, 4 weeks ago, I was in Wellington at my office, and I had a client fly out from Christchurch to see me. And I walked into the office that day and I thought, I feel like this is the last day. I'm going to be here for a while. I'm in quite a big shared space, and there's normally upwards of 70 people there, and there were 5.
Oh, goodness.
And now look at me. I'm at home with my kids, and I'm trying to run a business and help our local businesses and school my children. It's been an interesting 4 weeks.
It has been an amazing 4 weeks, the like of which I've never seen before. Well, we've, of course, had the stresses on businesses very, very well publicised. Government has come out with a package, first package. They promise more to come. But this seems to me to work quite well for businesses who are profitable and paid tax last year and possibly don't have to pay it this year. Does this cater for most businesses in the Kapiti area, do you think?
I mean, I'd like to just wind it back a little bit and talk a bit more about what the government is doing to support businesses. And I think they've actually really stepped up and understood the human need of both business owners and staff. And, you know, if we think back to that first sort of announcement around the wage subsidies, they've actually gone a really long way to helping people get through the first 4 weeks of the lockdown.
Yes.
And so obviously they've just announced the support around the tax relief, which I think is actually really clever. And, you know, it will make a real difference to some of those businesses that do need the help. And then obviously understanding a little bit more about what life will look like in lockdown once we exit and we get into level 3 and 2 will also be really helpful to businesses. But, you know, like we're on the ground and talking to people all the time, and there is such a wide range of issues that people are facing. And so I guess, you know, the government's doing a great job, you know, in helping at a high level, help everyone get through. I guess we'll be looking now to focus more on our sectors and how we can help them with the recovery, because obviously the recovery is just it's going to play a huge role in the future of our economy. And if we get it right, you know, and we do all the right things now, then it'll pay off in the long term.
There are going to be some casualties, though, aren't there?
Oh, undoubtedly. Last week we had Brad Olsen from Infometrics. He presented an amazing webinar on some of the facts and trends happening in the Kapiti Coast at the moment around unemployment and potential effects on the economy. And, you know, he was blunt. He said it is going to, you know, cause some disruption. It is going to cause some hurt. But, you know, the Kapiti Coast is actually quite resilient in some aspects as well. We've got, obviously, I think it's just north of 28% of our working population is self-employed, and a lot of that's in professional services. So, you know, we've got a little bit of resilience there with people able to work from home quite easily. But then, of course, we've also got a huge reliance on the construction sector and a huge reliance on retail as well. And so, you know, when we get through this and we exit into level 3 and hopefully get back to some normality, we're really going to have to rally around those sectors and do all we can to help them make it through.
So much to do. The other sector, of course, they tend to call it services, and in that area, a large number of services relate to aged care, which is a sector that has its own particular issues that it's dealing with at the moment. And if there is a disruption in that area, that could have a significant effect on the Kapiti Coast, couldn't it?
Oh, it definitely could. And, you know, I want to personally thank every single one of those workers who's going to work every single day and keeping our older population safe and well. And look, it was really sad to hear of the death this week of the Kapiti Coast resident. And, you know, our sympathies go out to their families because it's such a difficult time. And so, you know, the work our aged care sector is doing is just phenomenal. And, you know, we're kind of in the throes, I guess, of a response to a disaster at the moment. But, you know, long term, what does that look like for our sector? Will they have different restrictions put in place? I mean, the other thing we've got to think about is how long is this virus going to be around for? Because you've seen overseas there's been reinfections and resurgences. And so what does that look like for our number of villages around the area? I mean, will visitors be restricted? How will our workers adapt to that? So there are some big challenges that we do need to face in the next month and 3 months.
You mentioned Brad Olson's seminar, and in fact, I've sliced up the recording of that. I might attempt, seeing you mentioned it now, I might attempt to play it tomorrow because it was really interesting, his comments on the future viability of the Kapiti coast. And as you said, yes, we have problems, but we also have opportunities. Do you think that the fact we've got many small industries which tend to be agile by nature is in itself an advantage?
It is, and I'd like to get people to start thinking about this term. I've heard it a lot in recent days. It's called fragile to agile. So at the moment, naturally, most of us, there are some people who are just going to love lockdown life because they don't like being around people and they like to be alone. But I think we're all feeling very fragile, and, we're exiting into that 4th week, and we need to start thinking about the future and how do we become more agile. And that's especially true for a number of our businesses. And you will see some of them who at the very early stages recognised what was coming and pivoted their businesses to meet those challenges. So one of them is On Soul, which is a yoga and Pilates studio in Paraparaumu.
Yes.
And they went online very early. And so basically their whole business moved online overnight. And they've basically continued uninterrupted. And so it's kind of these success stories of people who are willing and able, and they recognise what's coming their way, because sometimes it's easy to put your head in the sand and think it's not going to happen to me, we'll be fine, we'll make it out. But unless you're willing to, think about the future and all the different options that are coming your way and be agile to meet those challenges, it can be really difficult to make it through something like this. So we want to encourage every single person out there who is a business owner to start thinking about the future. It's a great time to be doing some planning because the world's changed overnight and the way we do business is going to turn into a new normal. And, there's no denying that new normal. And so what does that look like for you? We've got lots of resources on offer at the moment. The Chamber's running a series of webinars. We've got a lot of our members are offering free help to other members. One of those is Heather Hutchings, our former chair.
Oh, yes.
She's offering, one-to-one strategy sessions to help people out who need someone to bounce ideas off. So make use of those resources that are available to you now because there's a lot on offer. And think about, where do I want my business to be in 12 months' time?
Well, wonderful. Thank you very much for your time. I have to add, it seems to be a pretty good time to be a member of the Kapiti Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, it definitely is. And look, our main goal, we had a board meeting today, actually, and our main goal is how do we help our businesses? How do we advocate on their behalf and make sure they're getting the help and resources and services they need? And our entire board has pretty much been like most other people working 24/7 to try and deliver those to our businesses. So you'll see a lot more from us about that in the coming days and weeks because we're here to help. And we want to create we want to create a growing economy and one where we all, reap the rewards, where our community thrives and, we've got businesses that are growing and adapting and being agile. So if you are interested in joining, we'd really love to have you on board. We've got a fantastic series of webinars coming up and we're working closely with the council and all the other business organisations as well. So, make sure you come along and see what we're all about. We're here to help.
Too right. We're all on the same side. That's a lovely thing about this community. And I think together we'll make it and we'll be stronger in the end. Jacinda, I thank you for joining us. Keep up the great work.
Thank you. See you later.
106.3 Beach FM.